We are at New Brunswick Superior Court. Michael Dotro was accused of threatening his co-workers' cops, who must have crossed him while fulfilling their duties. He was an Edison cop who performed his duties for 10 years. He was charged with attempted murder, official misconduct, aggravated arson, and performing harmful conspiracies against his co-workers. During the court hearing, the story unfolded, and Dotro's most horrifying action came forward. He set fire to 2 gasoline-filled jugs at his senior officer's house while he was spending time with his family. His whole family was home with his 2 children and mother. It was lucky that no one got injured during the incident. According to the authorities, Dotro was upset and angry with Enderko, the senior officer, because he ordered him to undergo a fitness evaluation through the psychologist. The senior officer decided because of his 11th excessive force complaint. Sneaking up on a home in the early morning hours while everyone was asleep and knowing that other people were in the home, that's depraved, there's no doubt, Jimenez said in the court hearings. Moreover, it isn't just a case. In further investigations, it also came to know that he was accused of cyberbullying a female police officer in the police department. He tried to get access to the department's computer database. The court proceedings moved further.
Represents the worst that we could possibly expect from someone in our society. Yes, he's caused very specific damage to Captain Enderko and his family, Ms. Zog, Ms. Dotro, to his own parents, to his families, to his brothers. But what he's really done, and what we're going to be left with after he's walking out the door to spend the next third of his life in prison, is allow people the basis to say that our system of justice has no integrity.
And they did an in-depth investigation and found all the evidence against him. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison for setting fire to the officer's house. The most horrific scene was when he scratched his neck and showed no remorse when he was sentenced to 20 years in jail. His wife came forward and gave her statement. "You are a monster, and a horrific monster." All the evidence that proved his illegal acts against his co-workers was collected against him. Welcome to Jackson County Courthouse. He was Zachary Wester. He was a former sheriff's deputy facing disturbing allegations of planting evidence during routine traffic stops. In this community, Wester was once seen as a guardian of the law. However, as the story unfolded in court, a dark story emerged. After almost a year of checking in a small town, authorities revealed that 26-year-old former deputy Zachary Wester would stop drivers for small traffic mistakes.
I'm just trying to think what's going to be best for, what is that right there? That right there.
What is what? This?
That straw right there.
This is no straw, it's an ink pen.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
an ink pen.
It was connected. It looked like it was connected
straw.
to that arc.
Hey,
Just
I
hang
just
tight,
got
okay?
pulled over, but
Anything in the vehicle I need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades,
drugs,
rocket launchers?
no.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. There's going to be a K9 coming in a minute, and she's going to walk around the car, okay? But instead of doing that, would you consent to a search of your vehicle? You're fine with that? Okay. All right. You mind stepping out and just hanging out with this deputy right back here?
No, I don't. I'm scared of being in this traffic. To be
No,
honest.
Deputy Hayke will take care of you.
Shockingly, they said he would put drugs on them and then arrest them. Wester arrested more than 100 drivers between 2016 and 2018, which was a much more inhumane act. Like, he was arresting the innocent poor drivers who were submissive, and he was using his power to eliminate the weak from society.
You've robbed me of my credibility being a mother and a grandmother for the last 3 years. I've probably missed 1.5 years of my grandbaby's life because of this. I wish you no ill will, and you'll never know what you've done to me until you have children of your own, so.
Wester, who used to work in Jackson County, had a body camera, but officials claimed he changed the video to hide his actions. After looking through over 1,300 minutes of video, investigators said they found proof that Wester put the drugs on people and have shared in a nearly $1 million federal court settlement. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement shared that they arrested Wester in Crawfordville. He faced severe charges like racketeering, making up evidence, having illegal drugs, doing official wrongdoing, and false imprisonment. The department mentioned that agents spent much time watching more than 1,300 minutes of video and worked over 1,400 hours on the case. The investigation uncovered a troubling situation where a person in authority had been dishonest, causing severe harm to those he was supposed to protect. The accusations were more than a stain on Wester's badge. They shook the foundation of trust between the community and those who promised to protect and serve. The court proceedings exposed a pattern of misconduct and illegal actions by Wester. He was sentenced to spend 12 years in state prison after being found guilty of planting drugs on multiple drivers. Wester faced the allegations, and the court learned the methods to carry out these alleged misconducts. The planted evidence led to arrests, damaged reputations, and destroyed lives. This case wasn't just about one officer's alleged misdeeds. It was a reminder of the vulnerability of individuals in the face of power. The court was tasked with unfolding the deception and determining the intensity of the damage caused by Wester's actions. Now, we are at Miami-Dade Courthouse Superior Court. A former Miami police officer, Lester Bowenblust, had been given a 45-day jail sentence for hurting a nurse at Jackson Memorial Hospital while he was on duty. Bowenblust, who was 51, faced probation for 3 years after he got out of jail and did 100 hours of community service. Bowenblust was found guilty of hurting a nurse over the age of 65 and holding her against her will.
Count 1, battery on a person 65 years of age or older, and guilty on 1 count of false imprisonment.
Bowenblust's family was distraught when Miami-Dade County Judge Marissa Tinkler Mendez said he would go to jail. The dispute occurred when Bowenblust's niece, who was having mental problems, left the hospital. Her dad brought her back the next day, but the doctor said she couldn't come back in and he needed to make another appointment. The situation got out of control from there. Instead of his niece's father, he showed up in the hospital in the uniform. He demanded that Nicholson readmit her to the hospital. He said she couldn't discuss the details of the patients in front of the public. In May 2018, security cameras at Jackson Memorial Hospital's Behavioral Health Unit recorded Bowenblust grabbing James Nicholson, who was 65 at the time. Bowenblust threw Nicholson to the ground and arrested her. He willfully used his power and threatened her for his benefit. Nicholson was shocked and scared and said,
"I was never ever expected to be grabbed from the back and thrown from side to side, to a point where I was yelling at the top of my lungs, help, help."
I'd like to say that I'm remorseful for the incident that took place.
At least he admitted what he did. Justice was served and he was sentenced to the punishment by the court. Welcome to the Pike County Courthouse. Finally, our last case is about Pike County Sheriff Charles S. Reeder, who is facing allegations in an anonymous complaint filed with the state auditor's office. The complaint was made public on Monday per Ohio's public records law. He was accused of using cash that was taken from drug arrests for his benefit. According to the complaint filed on November 9th, it is claimed that Sheriff Reeder had been taking money from drug cases handled by the sheriff's office. This money was stored in a small safe in Reeder's office, and he was the only person with access to it. The complaint did not specify the amount of money involved, but it was stated that Reeder was using it for his expenses. The complaint stated, "We believe he is taking money from the safe and using it for personal use." The story didn't end here. Further, he was also accused of using the money for gambling purposes. His attorney, Bolger, also said he borrowed money in Pike County. Bolger expressed optimism about resolving the matter, stating, "I think that may be cleared up pretty quickly," in an interview with a newspaper. When asked about Sheriff Reeder's alleged gambling issues, Bolger mentioned being unaware of such problems, but denied the possibility that the top law enforcement official may have engaged in betting activities. Bolger emphasized that borrowing money from friends or acquaintances is not against the law. He indicated an expectation to receive more information from Reeder later in the week. After that, a judge appointed a special prosecutor to investigate the allegations against Reeder, as reported. The origins of these claims were unclear, but Bolger speculated that they might be connected to discontent originating from some senior sheriff's office staff in September. Bolger ignited the challenges, describing the situation as rough, really rough for Reeder, especially considering that it involved the community where he grew up. He gave a long, emotional speech in court and begged the court to reconsider his statements.
Your Honor, please do not send me to prison. I have roamed, but I'm not ruined. I still have a lot of good left in me. And thank you for your time.
The judge had only one question. Why did you take that money? His emotional speech was all in vain.
I have, and I now pray that the court will find mercy on me. And I beg the court, if they see fit, to grant me community control, even with the strictest sanctions.
And he faced the consequences of his actions. The court punished him as he didn't serve as a peace officer, did not hold public office, and spent 3 years in jail.